Good afternoon and welcome to Williams Dog Training Company. We're here today with Fred and Apollo, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today is Apollo's ability to understand and respond to his obedience commands, the corrections and motivations we give him while we're working with him, and the training equipment that we're using. Now, Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he's going to keep the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand, leaving his left hand free to give the correction. The correction that we give is a tug and let go to the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Apollo's been fitted with his own personal training collar, and we'll show you how to properly use this during your one-on-one lesson. As you can see, Apollo is seated on Fred's left, which is where all our obedience training is done. In the first command, they'll demonstrate his heeling, which is proper walking on a leash, and Fred and Apollo take off doing that now. The command you want to use for this is Apollo heel, and you start walking and he'll fall right in line on your left-hand side. We've also gone ahead and incorporated our automatic sit into this, so anytime Fred stops his feet, Apollo will sit. There's an example of it there. That's important when you're heeling Apollo, that he walks at your pace without trying to pull ahead or lag behind. If he did attempt to pull ahead or lag behind, say no, give a tug and let go correction to his training collar, repeat your command to heel, and then start walking again. Now the next command they're going to be demonstrating is our stay command, which is a hand and voice command. Fred will use the open flat of his left palm and inch or so from Apollo's muzzle and the one-word command to stay. He walks out to the end of the training leash. Now this is a good exercise to build up self-control and maturity in Apollo. You can start practicing this one at about a minute's time and work your way up in increments until you get to about 3 minutes. Now as Fred returns back to Apollo, he's going to walk all the way around him, providing an added distraction as he goes behind, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Apollo holds that sit-stay throughout. Fred gives him a little praise and then heels him right out of it. And he'll show you a little more of the heel, sit, and stay. There's that sit. As he comes back up, he'll give him the stay again. Back out to the end of that leash. Now this time he'll give him a second to hold this pose, and then he will call him in and show you our recall or come command instead of returning back to him. He's going to call him by his name, and Apollo's going to get up, come into Fred, sit in front, and then we have an exercise called the finish. Fred's going to heel Apollo right around the back of him and gets him right back to that left-hand side heel position. He'll demonstrate it one more time. He's in a sit, he gives him a stay, out to the end of the leash. Give him a second to hold it. And then call him in by his name. Gets right up, comes in, sits in front. And then the finish, Fred heels him right around the back of him and gets him back to his left-hand side heel position. Nicely done. It's a good time to remind you want to practice all your commands with Apollo, about 15 to 20 minutes a day. You can practice inside or outside your home and just incorporate the commands into your daily routine with them. And next up is going to be our down commands. The first one will be down from the heel position. Once they get in position for it here. And Fred will use the open flat of his left palm straight down to the ground and the one-word firm command to down. He then gives him a stay and walks out to the end of that training leash. This is another great exercise to build up that self-control and maturity. You can start this one at about 3 minutes time and work your way up in those increments until you get to about 5 minutes. Now as Fred returns back to Apollo, he's going to walk all the way around him, just like he did on the sit-stay, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Nicely done. He'll heel him right out of that. And I'll show you that down again when he comes back around. Now it's always important to follow through with your command, so if at any point you give Apollo a command and he does not respond, or if he breaks one of his stays, the first word out of your mouth is going to always be no, followed by a tug and let go correction to his training collar, and then you're going to repeat the command you'd given him. You see there Fred gives him the down one more time, which is hand straight to the ground and the one-word command to down. He then gave him a stay, back out to the end of that training leash. And this time he'll give him a second to hold this one, and then he'll demonstrate that come or recall command right out of the down position. Apollo, come. He calls him in using his name. Apollo gets right up, comes into Fred, has him sit in front. And then the finish one more time, he's going to heel him right around the back and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Alright, we have one more command, which is our down from a distance. I'm going to give them a second to get lined up for it. And this will be our down from a distance. You're going to have him in a sit, give him a stay, out to the end of your leash. And this is the only time you use your right hand to give the command, and Fred will drop him into a down from the end of the training leash. And then he'll return back to him once again by walking all the way around and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Very nicely done. Alright, we've demonstrated for you our basic obedience commands that we've been working on with Apollo while he's been here at school. It's been a pleasure working with Apollo, and we thank you again for choosing Williams Dog Training Company as your personal dog trainer.